Hi gamers, it's that time to show you my 18 Magic the Gathering Commander decks. Now, all things considered, I think it could be reasonable to say that Magic the Gathering is my all-time favorite game ever. Like video games and everything taken into account, but Magic the Gathering, it's the game that I played the most of, and I played it ever since 1994. The game came out in 1993. I was born in 81, so I played the game ever since I was a 13-year-old kid, and still playing it at the ripe age of 41. So yeah, it really has made a lasting impression on me. And yeah, throughout the years I've quit playing it for maybe 2 times, and on other times it's been slow. But yeah, I think I've sold all of my cards a couple of times, thinking I won't use this again. And yeah, I've owned Black Lotus a couple of times, which of course I've sold for a lot less than it goes for these days. So yeah, lots of regrets in those sales for sure. But it's not like I do like my current Magic the Gathering collection of cards, decks, everything. And at the moment I have like the most active play group that I've ever had, and we can get a game going a couple of times per month. And yeah, it's really good. Commander isn't like, of course, when we started playing Magic, it was just one-on-one and 60 card decks, and we did play multiplayer even back then, but it was still just 60 card decks, 4 of each card and so on. I wouldn't mind like playing Legacy or Vintage even with my current play group, but everybody just prefers Commander, and it's fine for me as well. Of course, one of the best things about Commander is that, like, given that there are tens of thousands of different cards, it's really difficult to make the cuts even with a 100 card singleton format. So it's a nice variety. You get to play with all sorts of different cards, and yeah, with 60 card formats and 4 off per card, you get a lot less variety. But yeah, I would still like to have that deck building challenge back every now and then. Maybe we'll play someday. We'll make some legacy decks or something like that. But that is not today. Here I have my 18 decks. As you can see, I have very gorgeous old fat pack boxes here from Time Spiral, Planar Chaos, and Future Sight. This panoramic pictures here on top, and each deck each box holds 3 different decks. Just gonna take all of these out here, and I just finished a little deck building goal that I had, which is that now I have 1 of each monocolored deck, 1 of each 2-color combination, so 10 different 2-color decks, and I got a 5-color deck, I got a colorless deck, and 1 4-color deck. So I guess I won't be happy until I've built the remaining 4 4-color decks and the remaining 10 3-color decks. Then I would have 1 of each color combination. So that's 14 more decks. I have 18 now here, so it'll be I'm a bit over the halfway stretch here, but I think I'm gonna be happy with these decks for a while now. Of course, I always take all of my decks with me when we have a game night, just so I can be prepared for any situation, and if I want to play with a certain deck, it's I haven't left it behind or something like that. But of course, it means that at any given game night, I won't be playing with all of these. Even though sometimes we play like 12 hours, 14 hours, even more in a row. So some epic game nights, but even then I can't play with all 18 of my decks. So this is a very nice number. I'm not gonna be going through all of these. I'm just gonna be maybe showing all of my commanders with just a couple of highlight decks here that I wanted to show you guys. Maybe I'll first start out, where did I put it? Yep, here we go. So the mana base of each of my decks is each of my two-color decks. It's quite uniform. I have a pretty yeah, pretty. I wouldn't say that like I have a template or anything, but they kind of look the same within the two color combinations. So I'm gonna show you what the mana base looks like for most of my two color decks. There are a couple of exceptions, but for example, here is my Sigarda Host of Herons deck, and it is my enchantment deck. I feel like playing with Sith it's just easy mode. So I rather play with Sigarda, win with a nice Voltron beater with everything attached to her, and yeah, just of course in the 99 I have all of the enchantress effects that the game has. So plenty of card draw, even though the commander itself doesn't support doesn't have built-in card draw. But yeah, here is the mana base. Of course, command tower. Then I have an original duel, a shock land, a fetch land. Then the battle bond land, is it called when you have two or more opponents. I got the filter land, this is the dual-faced card that you can play untapped. Then I have whenever this is available only for the friendly color combinations. So the cycling land with the basic land types here, and the dual-colored man land. Also have a Plaza of Heroes. Each deck also has a War Room. Each deck also has Scavenger Grounds, just to have some graveyard hate. Each deck also have an Arch of Oraska, just to have something to pump your mana into in the late game. Each deck has a Temple of the False God, which is... I really don't get the hate for this card. Like, people are saying, oh, it's wrong to play this. No, it's not. If you ever have difficulties with the Temple of the False God, you have just like mulliganed wrong. It is like almost always a plus. Mulligan if you have it in your opening hand and don't have enough cards, but like if this isn't online, you are playing too few lands anyway. Like you can you can play this as your fifth land unless you have done something wrong, either in your deck building or your mulligan. A fantastic land. Each deck also has a Trip Mine, and here we have the green and white specific cards. I got a Cross and Verge, Gavany Township, and Vitugasi the City Tree. Even though these aren't like related to the enchantment theme, I just still throw them in because they come in untapped and sometimes they might come in handy. And then also I got a Hall of Heliod's Generosity, because this is an enchantment deck. And of course, I gotta show you here. Of course, I got a Serra's Sanctum as well, of course. Then some no-brainers here. A green land that comes into play untapped, Okina Temple to the Grandfathers, and all of my decks have the new Kamigawa channel lands. They are just no-brainers. You gotta use them in every deck that you can afford to use them. Also, like with Okinawa, we have Eiganjo Castle and the white channel land, Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire. And a little hideaway here as well, Windbrisk Heights. And then I also always play pretty much all of the sensible modal dual-faced lands / spells. And here in green-white, I got Turntimber Symbiosis, Colony Ambush, Balaget Recovery, Emeria's Call, Sageri Shelter, Kabira Takedown, and Ondo Inversion. And these I do count as lands. So they don't count as spells. When these came out, I swapped an equal amount of lands away and put these in. And how I play these is that I always play these tapped as lands when it's the beginning of the game. Like, I don't hoard these in my hand. I always play them as lands because that's what they are supposed to be. But in the end game, they are just invaluable, like to top deck instead of a land when you don't want a land. So these are really, really good stuff, and yeah, I love this. And finally, I got some basic lands. The reason why it's 4 forests and 1 plains is that white has just more utility lands in this deck. So I got a 50-50 spread of the colors in each 2-color deck. And yeah, as you can see, all of my basic lands are a beta. Like it's not a huge number, like if I have like 5 beta lands in each deck, but yeah, it just looks gorgeous, and love to little pimp out my decks in such a way. I love the old cards. So basically that's it, how I think about like my mana base structuring for each 2-color deck. And it's a bit different when I have my 1-color decks and my multicolor decks, but we'll go through those as well soon. But yeah, like if I can show you, of course, like I got all the, like I said, I got the Enchantress effects, and of course Sol Ring in each deck. I got plenty of wipes. I love wipes. I like to play slow in the beginning of the game, then wipe, and then I get to build my own board. Some spot removal. What do we got here? Of course, replenish. I do love my reserve list cards. Replenish and Serra Sanctum. Money was an option when you were a kid, but yeah, it's not anymore. So yeah, why fight it? I like to get all the good cards, but it's not like when it's 1 in 99. It's fine. Like you don't automatically win because you have like a dual land. It doesn't matter at all. So it's just basically like pimping your deck. Academy Rector. What else do we have here? Yeah, so that's just a pretty basic Enchantress, enchantment deck, just played with Sigarda. And instead of going like through all of the decks here, I'm just gonna show you all the commanders here. What else do we have here? So we have Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter, which has so Simic and has lots of big creatures, and I have like Eureka and Show and Tell, Polymorph, Mass Polymorph, cards like that. So some chaos in a bit group hug, like Dream Halls, even though like Dream Halls and Eureka, I think I have the most expensive creatures in my hand, so I usually get to benefit the most of those kind of cards. But yeah, this is pretty volatile. This is actually my newest deck, Neith of the Dire Hunt. So fight and combat based deck. Even though I do love like winning by combat, I have very few combos in my decks, and even less like cards that say you win the game. I hate those kind of cards like winning by damage or combat. It's the best thing. Like you, to me, Magic is at its best when it's a struggle. Like who emerges victorious instead of like, hey, I top decked the second card in my 2-card combo, I win. Like that is the biggest like buzzkill there is. It invalidates everything that has been going on in the game before that. You just top decking your second card of your 2-card combo. Yeah, I hate that. Like that doesn't take any skill. It's not exciting, and again, it invalidates like an hour or even 2 hours of gameplay that happened before that. Just get rid of combos in my games. Period. The red and green was something that I actually rehauled a couple of times. So this is my third commander, basically a third totally different deck. The previous two were just like too simple. For example, previous I had was Raga Draga with the mana dorks. It was just too simple to play. There was no like big decisions to be made, even though like, yeah, you can attack with creatures and play more of them, but it was just too simple. Whereas here I got combat tricks and everything. So yeah, Neith seems really fun. My blue and black deck is a steel/copy deck. The commanders are Sakashima of 1,000 Faces and Tevesh Zat, Doom of Fools. Yeah, Tevesh Zat is pretty brutal with its ultimate, which it can very easily get to because it creates two blockers and protects itself. And even though when you ultimate it at -10, even if he dies, he gets back to the battlefield, and just good times all around. And then also one of my newer decks, I got the Gidrock Monster. This one I overhauled. I got a black-green deck of Meren of Clan Nil Toth, but yeah, I just played enough of Meren. Worked well. I got pretty consistent wins, but I just wanted to play something different. I think the Gidrock Monster is like my most combo-y deck that I have, but it's still not a combo deck by any stretch. Actually, I have removed all of the like dredge combos and like everything like that. There are no infinite loops in the deck. I've made sure there isn't any, because I hate that. I would much rather play like good honest Magic, and while somebody might say that the Gidrock Monster isn't good honest Magic, this is the fairest version that you can make out of a Gidrock. But yeah, some good landfall shenanigans here, and good times all around. Then I have Ephara, God of the Polis. This is a Blink deck. Anshe Falkenwrath. This is a Reanimator, so big red and black creatures, and lots of reanimation effects. And like I said, I love my reserved list cards. So for example, I got Bazaar of Baghdad in this deck, which is a pretty good deal for this. So you get to draw cards and basically self-mill and while drawing cards. So that's good stuff. I have All Hallows Eve in the deck, even though it's no living death, that's for sure. But still, I like to find homes for these pretty expensive cards, because I like to play with big and flashy cards. And even though there are not like optimal cards, I still like to play with All Hallows Eve and just have a good time. Akiri, Fearless Voyager, yeah, Boris equipment, Sumi. I got all the swords here, and well, I guess I should show you. This might be like my most pimped out deck when it comes to like the actual cards, not just the mana base with beta basics. So I got lots of Kaladesh inventions, masterpieces here. Sword of Fist and Famine. What else do we have? Sword of Fire and Ice. Just gotta show you here, Sword of War and Peace. And the next is Sword of Light and Shadow. Lightning Greaves. I think I have like 7 masterpieces here, maybe. Sword of Body and Mind. That's it. So yeah, so 6. To me, the Kaladesh inventions are like the most gorgeous Magic cards ever made. And yes, I hate the fact that Wizards is reprinting them in a secret lair. No, not reprinting, but reprinting like the frame. So not the actual cards haven't been reprinted, and I hope they never will. You can print new cards, but yeah, even though they're reprinting like the frame, it's like you could have had that little special thing stay special, stay in Kaladesh for good, and just make up something new and rare and beautiful. But yeah, Wizards just can't help but erode the value of their cards. I still have like I really hope that Wizards like has enough sense that they wouldn't reprint like the actual masterpieces that they have made. Like just have those in the pseudo reserve list. If you want to make new cards with the same frame, just go for it. But please leave the actual old inventions alone. Like it really hurts the collectability and therefore the overall like life expectancy of the whole game if you like loot everything that you can loot. Just make sure that there are special things for people to collect. Don't overprint everything. I hate that. But yeah, that's enough for me, off my high horse. Jorian, Ruin Diver. This is a Spellslinger deck. Liesa, Shroud of Dusk. Liesa has all every effect in black and white that make you pay life when you cast a spell or something like that. There's a fair bit of life gain in the deck as well. But mostly it's just like taxing people for playing their spells, and I really like how this scales into bigger games. Like sometimes we have 5 or 6 player games as well, so I always bring either Liesa or my Jorien deck, because Jorien has like all the red pingers, like 1 damage to each opponent, and you get to do that each time you cast an instant or sorcery, so something that affects the whole board, all of your opponents, and Liesa is more of the same. So I really like the scalability of some commander here, some of the commanders here. And was that it for my all 2-color decks? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that's it. So then we're off to my single color decks, monocolor decks. For green, I have Reki, the History of Kamigawa, so a legendary deck. For red, Neheb the Eternal, which might be my most powerful deck. Like this goes off. And when it goes off, nobody can do anything about it. This is the deck that I put in Jeweled Lotus, for example, just for maximum volatility. I don't have Jeweled Lotus in all of my decks, just this one, because when people say that let's play one more fast game, this is the deck that I take out, and usually it wins on like turn 5. Once I won on turn 4, I think. Yeah, so very fast. My mono blue deck is Azami, Lady of Scrolls, which is a wizard tribal deck. Black is Kirik, son of Yakmoth, which, well, in addition to Neheb, might be my most powerful deck. I'm not sure, but yeah, Kirik has a really high win percentage. I think I love playing with Kirik. And for white, we have Lena, Selfless Champion. Now, Lena isn't like your typical white token commander. There are better options out there, but my girlfriend's name is Lena, and I was looking for my final deck, which was mono white, and I was thinking I don't have like a token deck yet, so mono white and tokens. Then I had the idea of checking if there is a magic card that has the same name as my girlfriend. Now, Lena, my girlfriend's name is spelled with 2 E's, so Lena, and this is Lena with 1 E, but yeah, this was monocolored, this was token, and her name was Lena. Yeah, that was all I needed to take the hint, and I knew I had to build Lena Selfless Champion deck, even though it is far from optimal. But yeah, this is I guess this is my most like lore-based deck that I've built. Just the lore is based on my real life. But yeah, I really like this deck. And then we get to my final 3 decks here. First, let's see my colorless commander. So it's Kozilek, the Great Distortion. There aren't that many like a good colorless commanders. This is one of them. Even though this has the discard a card, counter a spell ability, I rarely use it. This is mostly just for like I have every single of course Sol Ring, but every single 2 mana rock that exists in the game that you can play in a like colorless deck. So the idea is to like vomit your deck onto the table, have all the fast mana that you can, cast this, and then you have a new hand of 7 cards. So it works pretty well. It kind of lacks the final oomph, like, yeah, then you have a bunch of mana rocks and maybe an Eldrazi or 2. So it doesn't really go that wide, or it doesn't go that like vertically as either, so it's not really a Voltron deck. So yeah, I'm having a bit trouble winning with the deck, but I always have like the most permanents and really cool mana base as well, all kinds of colorless utility lands, and yeah, I really like the deck and playing with the deck, but yeah, not really up to the same win percentage as some of my other decks might have. Then onto my 4-color deck. Now, remember when I said that I hate combo? This deck has all the combo. Like, I guess I wanted to have one combo deck just in case. Like, I usually take this out when somebody else at the table has had like a really obnoxious combo win. And then like, okay, I'm gonna play with my Breya Ethereum Shaper deck. And yeah, this is an artifact deck, and it has power artifact and and like everything that you can have in all of the infinite mana loops. You have infinite turns, you have infinite creatures, infinite life, infinite damage. Like you got all of the infinite combos in here, and with a good hand you can actually win on turn 1 with this deck. I've never done it, but it's there. So like when like all things considered, Breya might be like my in theory my most powerful deck. I think it still goes to Neheb in terms of like how consistent it is. But yeah, Breya is this is bullshit. This is a deck that I would hate playing against, and I mostly I don't play this during an evening at all. So I usually just take this out when somebody else combos out, and then okay, I'm gonna combo it as well. So then you know how it feels like. So I just have this like in reserve. Maybe I should show this deck. So let's see. What I got here, of course, top tier assembly combos out with where do we have it? Well, we have the Sword of the Meek combo here, the top tier assembly combos, transmute artifact, of course, combos with time sieve, so you get infinite turns, extra turns. Got Argivian Archaeologist, like all of these like expensive artifact matters cards I got in this deck, so nice to have a home for all of them. And yeah, just lots of fast mana. Auric Salvagers combos with yeah, Mistress Workshop of course, but Auric Salvagers combos with just a power artifact. Where is it? Wait a sec. With Lionside Diamond. So if you have these two in play, you can play your commander infinite number of times. So that's the game right there. Yeah, interesting. Like of course, discarding your hand is a huge downside, but in Commander this doesn't matter because you always have your Commander which you don't discard. And yeah, all kinds of course, Urza is here. All kinds of fun combos here. But like I said, I rarely play with the deck. This is mostly just my way of like owning a bunch of like power artifact, Argivian Archaeologist, Mistress Workshop kind of cards, and actually have like a deck for them. I wouldn't be able to play them in any of my other decks, so I just built one deck that has everything. And one more deck that I have here. This is my 5-color good stuff deck, and that is Garth One Eye. I got here are my tokens for, or copies for the cards that he can cast. So I got, sadly, I don't have a real Black Lotus, at least not yet. I'm thinking about buying one, especially when I can play one in Commander. But here I have Blacker Lotus from Unglued, and the rest of the 5 cards are actually collector's edition cards. I really love the look of collector's edition, and yeah, for like basically like tokens and stuff like that. These are perfect for use with Garth One Eye. And I thought I'd show you my Garth One Eye deck through and through. So this is the good stuff. There is no major theme going on here, just the absolute best cards in all of the colors, nothing more. The mana base is, of course, I got 10 original dual lands, 10 shock lands, 10 fetches, and then in addition to those I got Command Tower, City of Brass, Mana Confluence, Reflecting Pool, Vesuva, Plaza of Heroes, and Strip Mine. Like I said, I got Strip Mine in every deck. I usually don't use Strip Mine, but it's really nice to have there. And then on to the 5-color good stuff. So Snapcaster, Smothering Tithe, Demonic Tutor, Treachery, Pact of Negation, Yakmot's Will, Vampiric Tutor, Rhystic Study, Etali Primal Storm, Dauthi Voidwalker, No Mercy, Elder Gargaroth, Chromantic Core, 1000-Year Elixir, just for use with Garth One Eye, Dockside Extortionist, Force of Negation, Force of Will, Force Field, Cyclonic Rift, Clever Impersonator, Maelstrom Archangel. I don't think Maelstrom Archangel is like one of the best cards in the game, but it's a 5-color card, and I want to play effects like this. Comet Storm, again, I don't think Comet Storm as such is one of the 100 best cards in the game, but I just like to have one of these kind of effects in the deck, like X damage to any target. And with the multi-kicker you can multiply that, but I just like to have one of each kind of effect. So there's nothing this deck can't do, basically. Cleansing Nova, Sol Ring, one of my favorite cards of all time. Sol Ring in a Kaladesh Invention. Masterpiece format, I love this card. Merciless Eviction, yeah, 5-color deck, Unite the Coalition, gotta play that. Ink Shield, Timeless Lotus, Eternal Witness, Chaos Warp, Conflux, Shieldred, Whispering One, Austere Command, Arcane Signet, Lasso to Plating, just something I need to have to shield my troops. Wormcoil Engine, Last Stand, Esper Sentinel, Deadly Rollick, Teferi's Protection, Trickbind, Pernicious Deed, Oko, Thief of Crowns, Counterspell, Mind's Dilation, Baneslayer Angel, Necromancy, Bribery, Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer, Kenrith the Returned King, Assassin's Trophy, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Deflecting SWAT, Flawless Maneuver, Chromax, Heroic Intervention, Imperial Seal, Maze of Ith, Trashing Wampus, Farewell, Consecrated Sphinx, and Mana Drain. I don't know, maybe you should let me know in the comments if there was something that absolute garbage that I shouldn't be playing, or you wouldn't play in a good stuff deck, and really tell me if there's something really essential missing. So I really would like to. There are no restrictions here. Well, I guess like Time Twister. I don't have that yet either. I would like to play it in this deck, but yeah. But mostly there are no restrictions here. Happy to add any card to the deck here that I can. And yeah, let me know what do you think of this good stuff deck. One more thing before I wrap this up. I have almost all of my decks have some way of either drawing cards or recurring cards or having card advantage in some way or another. I think card draw is like the most important thing when you're making a deck. Having a lot of card draw is way more important to having like the most finely tuned land base or like mana curve or something like that. When you have a lot of card draw, that like fixes almost any other problem that your deck might have. So just card draw, that is key. And most of these commanders have built-in card draw into the commander itself. Like I show you here. Well, Garth One Eye doesn't really have card draw, but he can he basically has like 6 cards in hand when he hits the battlefield. So that is card advantage. Lena Selfless Champion isn't one of those. So I just have almost everything that white can do in order to draw cards. The same with Kirik, son of Yawgmoth. So in the 99 is all the black draw spells that you can have, all of them, because he handles the mana acceleration. But Azami, Lady of Scrolls, draws a ton of cards. Neheb, again, doesn't have, he just handles the mana acceleration, but I have every red card draw, every wheel effect, every like exile the top card of your library, you can play this turn kind of effect. So it's there. Reki draws cards inherently. Breya, well, this is my this doesn't draw cards, but this is my combo deck, so it doesn't really have to. It has so many other ways to win. Kozilek draws cards. Liesa has every black draw card in the game in it, but even here, because Liesa doesn't get more expensive if she dies. So this is basically like you always have access to her. So it's kind of like a card advantage in the way that she can't be removed permanently. Just pay a bit more life. So that's kind of built-in card advantage. Yorien draws cards. Akiri Fearless Voyager draws cards. Anje Falkenrath draws cards, well, cycles through cards. Ephara draws a lot of cards. Gitrock Monster draws cards. Teves Zat can draw cards for you. Nath draws cards. Rashmi basically draws you cards and sometimes can put stuff into the battlefield. And Sigarda doesn't draw cards but has like all of the enchantress effects there is. So these decks actually have card draw in them, and this smaller pile has like doesn't have it built into the commander, but has like the most card draw support in the 99 that you can have for those colors. But whenever I can, I make whenever I choose a commander, it has built-in card draw. That's the most important thing for me in a deck. It just smooths everything out when you do that. I guess with that, I am done. Even though I showed you only a couple of decks, it still was a 45-minute video. Thanks a lot if you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. I guess I can show you here. I have here like my little binder that I pull out whenever I start making a new deck. So I have some staples here that I just can pull out whenever I start making a new deck. So I have some staples here, so I don't always have to like buy like Force of Will or Demonic Tutor whenever I make a blue or black deck. So I have a little binder here that helps me out. And here I also have some cards that I collected. Like here are my Arabian Nights cards, some Legend stuff, and Antiquities, some Beta, an Alpha Word of Command, some Unlimited. So this is my little binder of goodies. Some collector's edition, some of these World Championship decks, and some reserved list, some cheaper cards. Yeah, just something I want to show you guys as well. I know I haven't, like several years ago, I used to do a booster box opening whenever a new set came out, but yeah, those days are long gone. It's just it really doesn't make any sense to be cracking boosters when all of the cards are just so rampantly overprinted. So most of the cards are really cheap to pick up as singles, so that's what I'm going to do. And but I really love opening boosters, so maybe I'll do a booster box opening one of these days. Let me know in the comments if this would be something that you would like to see in the future as well, or if you enjoyed them in the past. But yeah, that's it. Follow FinGamer on Twitter and Instagram. For example, especially on Instagram, whenever I buy a new expensive card from the reserve list, I always like to make a post on Instagram. So be sure to check out a FinGamer there if you're interested in my Magic content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.